Hello guys. Uh, in this video I wanted to cover a couple of topics, but the one I want to start out with is something that I noticed during the DNC chair debate and a couple of other debates that have been going on. I've noticed a talking point that's coming from your more establishment candidates, no matter what they're running for. You can't help but to notice it because one thing about a talking point, they come out of what we call think tanks. And talking points are meant to be repeated to keep pounding a message into your head. They're supposed to be like a subliminal message, but actually, if you're really listening, they repeat them so much that they really start to become irritating. And you start to hear them saying it on all the networks and things like that. And it just gets to the point where it makes you want to throw something at your television because it's like Chinese water torture, you know? And that talking point is how we can't let the Republicans divide us as far as Democrats. Here's the reality. We're already divided. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a good thing because there is no division in the Republican Party among candidates who take money and those that don't take money from huge corporations. That is what is separating the Democratic Party. I'm happy about that because I'm happy that there are candidates and people within the Democratic Party who realize that though they can legally take money, they shouldn't be able to legally take money. It is a system that's ran by criminals who made it so that something that should be illegal is legal. It should never have been made legal. Just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's right. And they keep saying we can't let them separate us. We can't let them separate us. And I can tell where that's going because what they're going to do now. You mark my words. When as 2020 approaches, they're going to try to make it seem like anyone who acknowledges the difference between a candidate who's not taking money and one who does, they're going to label that person as someone who's being divisive. Like let's not even talk about that. Let's not even talk about my big donors, okay? Because you're being divisive. I can take money from big donors and I can represent you too. I can look at all that big money they're giving me, including the money they're paying me under the table. No, I can't prove that. They're not stupid. They're not going to record themselves taking money under the table. But let's not forget a case where a little governor was taking money and gifts and having his children's weddings paid for and all that garbage. And the Supreme Court said, hey, even though he was found guilty in court, the Supreme Court said, no, let him go. Do your research. All right. There's a governor. I might put a link down in the description section. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll do that for you. But and I'll let you read it for yourself. But now they can take gifts. That guy, his case has set an example now. Now it will be very difficult to legally convict a politician for taking gifts, this guy was taking like Ferrari rentals. He was going to resorts. He was, like I said, he was having his children's weddings paid for and things of that nature. And, he probably, he took some cash too. So now, that it's very hard to get any politician on those things. And there's a whole lineup of Democrats who have cases coming up where they're about to face the same charges. But anyway, I got a little bit off topic. But yeah, we are separated as a party, and that's a reality. And that's a reality we just need to face. We just need to face the fact that there are Democrats who believe that their candidates should only take money from their constituents. And that's it. You shouldn't be taking money from corporations because we simply do not believe that you will represent us before you will represent your donors. We just don't believe it. And there's not a whole lot you can do to convince us otherwise. Now, if you look at the performance of the Democrats in the past, I guess about 16 to 20 years, it proves our point that they can't, even before it was legal for them to take money, they were taking money. And if you study how they've been voting over the last 15 to 20 years, they have already proven that you cannot take money from big money donors and represent your common class constituents. You can't do it. Because if you did do it, you wouldn't have big money donors for long. Now, you take a look at Hillary Clinton's foundation. We all know that a lot of those people who were donating millions of dollars to the Clinton Foundation, now that she's not in the running for president and now that she is not officially into politics, a lot of those donors stopped giving money. Do you really believe that's a coincidence? No, you don't believe it. You might say you do, but you're lying. No one actually believes that. They stopped giving that money because she's no longer a player in politics, and they were giving her that money. And no, I'm not just picking on Hillary. Hillary's not the only one. They're all taking money, all except the new ones that's coming about. And already, Justice Democrats is starting to scare them, because if it's not the Justice Democrats, they're afraid that politicians are going to start coming about who are going to more or less run on the Justice Democrat format, which is not to take money. Politicians who are taking money, they want to take money. They've already looked at a future in taking money. They came into politics because they can take money. Washington, D.C. has become such a cesspool now, it's actually attracting con men and women. Women who are coming to run for office who have no good intent at all whatsoever, except to do one thing, which is common now for congressmen and all sorts of lawmakers and people on the Hill, is to come in poor and to leave out rich. Have you noticed that? Now, these positions are supposed to be humble positions. They're supposed to be positions where you come in and serve the people. And these people come in, most of them do, they come in with no money. Some of them come in so broke, and this is not an exaggeration, a lot of them, if they live in another state, which most of them do, of course, they can't afford two places to live. They can't afford to pay for a house where they live and pay for an apartment in D.C. So they end up sleeping where? In their office. Let a few years go by, especially if they can manage to stay in there for over 4 years, and they're, by some coincidence, I guess, their financial situation seems to change a whole lot. It seems to change a whole lot. A lot of them end up with homes, not only in Washington, D.C., some of them end up with homes in other places. You know, so their lives end up changing a whole lot. That's not a coincidence, and it's not the salary that's doing that. You know, so a lot of people are coming to Washington, D.C. to get rich. That's what we have now. We need to change that. People need to be coming to Washington, D.C. for only one thing. They need to be coming to Washington, D.C. because they want to serve the people. And that's it. That's all they need to be going to Washington, D.C. for. But unfortunately, it's not. And to be honest with you, I happen to know a couple of people personally that want to run for office. They want to get into politics for that reason. Of course, I'm not going to say their names, but I know some people personally who want to get into politics because of the fact that now you can get into politics and get rich. Okay? So I don't think they'll be looking at this video because they don't really mess around with Facebook too much. But just wanted to throw that out there. I also want to cover something as far as this money is speech thing. I see people, even people who are Democrats, who are actually saying money is speech. I'm like, what the hell is it? Where have we gotten when Democrats are running around? Well, we do have neocon Democrats, and we're mostly calling them neoliberals. So, but it's just kind of weird, man. But, here's what I want you to do. And I want you to come down into the comment section if you're successful at this, and I want you to tell me exactly how you did it. Now, I want you to go to the nearest Tesla dealership. And I want you to try to come out of that Tesla dealership. They don't have dealerships. I forgot what you call them. But anyway, it's a place where you can go buy Teslas. They have these little satellite places now, but they don't really call them dealerships, and they don't call the people you'll be talking to salesmen. But they have a different business model set up. But anyway, go to a place where you can purchase a Tesla. And your assignment is to drive out of that Tesla, we'll just call it a dealership. Drive out of that Tesla dealership with a Tesla that you purchased with your words. Now, I want a Tesla. That's the reason why I'm telling you to go to Tesla. And you're not spending any currency, any real money, and you're not going to use credit. Because the whole idea is you're going to go to this Tesla dealership because remember, your money is speech. Well, if in all fairness, that means speech is money. So, because you're saying that your money and my speech is equal. You're saying that I shouldn't pay attention to the fact that a rich man is speaking with his money the way that I'm speaking with my words that's coming out of my mouth. So you're saying they're equal. So if they're equal, I want you, that's your assignment, I want you to go to a Tesla dealership and I want you to purchase a Tesla with your words. And if you're able to purchase a Tesla with your words, I was going to give away a gift, but everybody might not be into the gift. So I'll just go with the value of a gift. I have $300 for anyone who can go to a Tesla dealership and actually purchase a Tesla with your words and walk away owing nothing, having to pay no payments, no nothing, because remember, you purchased it with your words. So all you have to do is give them enough words, and that would be the equivalent to you paying cash for the Tesla. So, for those of you who might want to try something a little easier, why don't you go into the grocery store and, fill your buggy up, get up there to the cash register and try to give them some words. Try to give them some speech. And then after that, you'll see if you can try to get out of jail with your speech. Good luck with that. See if you can pay your bond, with some speech. So it's absolutely ridiculous, okay? Just because some of your favorite politicians are taking money, man, that doesn't cover for them. Any politician who's taking money from corporations and they're happy about it and they're defending it is garbage. And they're not going to be any good to anybody. They're not going to serve anybody. Okay? So let's just get that straight. So that's your assignment, man. Go and purchase a Tesla with your speech. Okay? And I want to be clear. I want it to be purchased out and out. No cash involved at all whatsoever. No currency. No credit, no nothing. Because if you get it on credit, yeah, you might have drive out of there without having to pay any money up front, but you're going to end up paying monthly. So I want to be clear. I don't want any cash involved. I mean, there are people who are really adamant about money being speech. I mean, some of you might be thinking, you think like me, you think, Chris, stop being silly. No, I'm telling you, there are people who are actually making that argument that money is speech. So I'm talking to those people. I'm not talking to most of you because most people know money isn't speech. But there are people who actually try to make that argument. So go ahead and try to purchase that Tesla with that speech, okay, and win this $300. All right? All right, guys, take it easy and have a good weekend.